Delegates from over 200 countries attending the 29th Conference of Parties at COP29 have agreed on new United Nations standards on carbon markets permitting polluters to pay for their climate ills through credits abroad. Carbon credits are obtained through activities that cut or avoid greenhouse gas emissions. However, delegates attending the Conference of Parties, again COP, still need to negotiate further on the 15-page document which has provisions that countries need to abide by. Zainab Bandati expounds from Baku, Azerbaijan.
Global carbon emissions from fossil fuels have reached a record high in 2024, up 0.8% from 2023. And despite the urgency to cut carbon emissions in order to slow down climate change, efforts to phase out fossil fuels are often met with resistance at the COP. And what is getting more effort now and more attention now is the adoption of carbon markets. And COP29 started off by agreeing on international carbon market standards as the first order of business.
Article 6 of the Paris Agreement is a provision that allows countries to trade on carbon credits. And so countries that are rich in forest can be able to take stock of their carbon credits and sell them. On the other hand, countries that are buying that can be able to credit that into their nationally determined contribution. So it's a win-win scenario where if you have forest, you get the money to protect your forest, and for those who are buying, can also be able to take credits into their NDCs, everybody realizing their climate goals.
Now, Kenya is quite excited about this development and maintains that carbon markets are necessary to raise the climate finance that the country so desperately needs in order to adapt to and mitigate the impacts of climate change.
We want the operationalization of Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, because carbon market and carbon credit is critical to Kenya. Speaking to you, we have passed the Climate Act Amendment. I have passed the carbon market regulations. I am remaining with about another 3 other regulations. There are many investors who want to do carbon offset projects, carbon credit projects.
Carbon markets, however, have faced a lot of criticism, not just as pollution permits, but also the maltreatment of the local communities in the areas where these carbon projects exist. Kenya admits that this is a problem, but that the law has already addressed it.
When you look at what we've learned from the voluntary markets, they've not really benefited communities because the prices have been so low, where also the cost of actually verification and monitoring has been astronomical, so communities get the low end of the stick. But what we are saying is, and what we are seeing in Baku now, is that the supervisory body that is responsible for the Paris Agreement is looking at how we can have both social and environmental safeguards that are going to ensure the integrity of the carbon credits, but also looking at how do you ensure that you have relevant benefits going to local communities.
If you read that the carbon trading or carbon markets regulation that was passed by Parliament a month ago, it's in that regulation, it's in law that 40% of any carbon projects done in any place in our country, 40% will go to the local community.
China's emissions remain the highest at 32% of total global emissions, and for them and many other developed countries with high emissions, carbon markets play a crucial role in offsetting this excess carbon. Zainab Bandati, NTV, in Baku, Azerbaijan.